Hey there. Today we'll talk about India's rising current account deficit. So, what happened? India's current account deficit jumped to $9.2 billion in the April June quarter, whereas it was just $1.3 billion in the January March quarter. Why did that happen, you ask? To understand that, let's first understand what is a current account deficit. See, current account is one of the two parts of the balance of payments. The other part is the capital account. And what's the balance of payments? The balance of payments is like a financial report card for a country, showing how much money is coming in and going out on international activities. Its two parts are the current account and the capital account. Now, imagine this. You're running a lemonade stand. Think of the current account as your daily sales and expenses. Every time you sell a glass of lemonade to your neighbors passing by, it's like exporting goods or services to other countries. The money you receive from these sales goes into your current account. When you buy lemons or sugar from a local store to make your lemonade, it's like importing goods. These expenses are subtracted from your current account. So, when the expenses exceed the money received, it's called current account deficit. Also, consider the capital account as your long-term investments and borrowings. If you borrow money or raise investment from a friend to grow your lemonade business, it goes to the capital account. Now, in our context, India's regular international expenses have really exceeded the income this time. So, what caused it? First, an increase in trade deficit, which is basically exports and imports of goods. It was largely due to two reasons. We imported a lot of gold, which increased our bills, and our export income was reduced because of the low global demand for petroleum products. Then, services surplus. India usually runs a surplus in net services. It is just that this surplus is not as high as last time. This is because of a decline in exports of computers, travel, and business services. There was just not as much demand. And finally, decreased private transfer receipts. What that means is we received less money from people sending us money from abroad for personal reasons. Right. So, what does this mean for our economy? What would you do if the expenses of your laminate stand was so much more than the income? You'll either ask someone to invest in your business or borrow money. So, India may have to borrow money to cover the current account deficit if it does not get covered by foreign investments. This can result in high levels of debt, which is not good for an economy. How, you ask? Increased debt will mean that the country has to set aside more money to pay the principal and interest on debt. These payments will put further pressure on the current account. A large deficit will mean that the government will have to reduce its spending, which can result in lower investments in public projects, which can in turn slow economic growth. Also, if a country buys more from other countries than it sells, then there is less demand for its currency, and this will depreciate its currency. A weaker currency will further make imports expensive and lead to inflation. Sounds bad, no? So, what can India do to narrow the deficit? First, boost exports by providing incentives for exporters, easing export regulations, and negotiating better trade deals with other countries. Or reduce imports by providing incentives to domestic manufacturers and implementing tariffs and duties on certain imports. And finally, in the long run, India can focus on becoming export competitive. What's that? Basically, there are two ways in which your products can be in demand in other countries. First, you can be price competitive where you offer similar technology at a lower price, or you can be technology intensive, which will give your product more demand. Right now, we're neither. Currently, India exports low value technology intensive goods, whereas it imports high value technology advanced goods. And we're also not price competitive in the world market. But don't worry, this can be changed. by improving the productivity and competitiveness of domestic manufacturers by introducing policies that could help us increase exports. So, yeah, that's all about the rising current account deficit. Check the description below for an explanation of any jargon. Thanks for watching.